Hi everybody, Charles here. Welcome to Backroads Living. If you enjoy our channel, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe. And when that bell icon appears, if you'll ring that bell, you'll be notified when we upload new videos. Like our video by clicking that thumbs up button. Share us with your social networks. Be sure and leave your comments and concerns in the comment area below. This gives us more exposure on YouTube. Any kind of interaction you give to our channel or our video, YouTube then will suggest us for videos to be watched to other channels. So we appreciate any kind of interaction that you do with our channel. If you want to know who we are or what we do, if you'll click the See More link in the description below, you'll find several links down through there that include our website, our Facebook pages, and other things that we do. We have also been asked, and we're thinking about a Patreon group. I'm not sure yet if we're going to do that. That would take quite a bit of time and effort to put that together and to maintain it and put content on it. It takes a lot of time just to do the YouTube channel we're doing. We would have to have, of course, people that would participate in something like that, or we couldn't really maintain it. We've had people mention about a PayPal link that they could donate to. We have that in there. There's just a lot of stuff that we're thinking about and considering doing, but all of it takes time. It all takes effort. If we do these things, then we have to take away from something else we're doing, and we make our living online. Everything we do to pay our bills is done online, and it takes a lot of time to get everything that we do in the course of a week. We don't have an 8-hour day that we work. We're on these computers 12, 16 hours a day most days, unless we're boxing or shipping or something like that. And it's just a lot of time. So anything we do, we have to take into consideration that we're going to have to let something else go in order to do what we're considering. So keep that in mind. If you have ideas or you have opinions about that, we'd appreciate hearing them. So I guess that's just a little bit of our bio, a quick short there, and let you know who we are and what we're doing and what we have hopes to do. So let's get on into the next video. All right, let's get into this video. This evening we're going to be going over some of your comments and concerns and answer some questions that folks have had that are new preppers. So you guys are full of knowledge. And let me say this again, if you're a new prepper and following this channel, be sure to read the comments. These folks that follow this channel are amazing. I'm telling you, some of these folks have been living this lifestyle for years and years and years. And you know, prepping wasn't really popular, or wasn't what I would think it would have been called many years ago, because my grandmother, the life she lived with her children after her husband my grandfather was killed in the mines in Black Mountain, Kentucky. They were preppers, but they didn't, that wasn't a term they used. They were just farmers. They just raised livestock and chickens and gardens, and they prepared for the winters and all that kind of stuff. And they just laid aside food for themselves and canned and done all that stuff. And it was just a way of life to them. And there's a lot of people that follow this channel that's a way of life to you. And man, I tell you, we appreciate the knowledge that you share with us. And I hope that you folks that are new here are following these comments and just getting information all you can. Make lists. Get you a pencil and jot down notes. Type out notes on your computer and print them off, whatever it takes. Do that and save these notes and this wisdom. This is wisdom that you're getting from these people. These people have experience. So let's look at some of our comments today. Stray Cat said, I've found that my original prepper list was quite large. And I think Sandy's and I prepper list kind of grew large in the beginning of all this when we first realized that, as the old saying is, we've been caught barefooted when all this took place. Like I said, we had a few things put back in our pantry, but nowhere near what we needed. Had there been a lockdown for 6 months in the beginning of all this, and we couldn't get out and go to the stores or anything, but it would have been eating bark off the trees after a while, or grass out of the yard or something, you know, because we didn't have 6 months worth of food put back. I think we're there now, and we're working on getting more. Just like I said, every time we go to town, we buy extra. We always get extra. And by the way, we did make another trip to Walmart this week. I've not done a video on it yet, but I plan on doing a video about it, and I want to share some things with you. I did just a little bit of live footage while I was there that we'll share with you that you might find interesting. But a prepping list can just get overwhelming. It can get so big and so large when you start researching this stuff online that there's just tons of information on it. And if you make a list or take a list from every website or every YouTube channel you follow, eventually you're just going to be overwhelmed with it. It's just going to be too big. It's going to be so massive that there's no way that you can fill it, and you're going to feel overwhelmed to where you might just want to just throw up your hands and quit. But don't do that, because everybody's list is not for everybody. Your list is going to look different than mine. My list is going to look different from somebody else's because of the foods I enjoy and the foods I eat, or the foods I can't. You know, there may be foods that I can't eat. There may be foods that you can't eat. So you may be allergic to wheat, so you don't need to buy wheat. You may be allergic to certain types of vegetables, so you won't be buying those vegetables. It doesn't matter if it's on somebody else's list or not. If you can't eat it, don't buy it. You know, you make your own list with certain foods that have carbs in them and fats and salts and sugars and all that stuff. You make your own list. You just need enough of the right foods to keep you going. Now, she said that her list was quite large. I was unable to eliminate things in order for me to save room and money. I had candles and flashlights. Now, apparently she had a very condensed space to live in and to store things in. I had candles and flashlights and batteries on my list. Instead, I bought 2 hand crank lanterns and 2 hand crank flashlights for $40 in total, and can fit in one small box. So that's a good idea. If you've got a very limited amount of room to store items, then try to think about condensing down like this. But even with having hand cranked items, I would still encourage you to have some matches, to have some backup candles, a few things like that. You don't have to have a bunch of them, but have some of them handy just for an emergency in case something happened to your crank and something, you know, you never know what could happen to something mechanical. It can always break or something go wrong with it. So you always need to have some backup of some kind in that. I would encourage you to do that. And one thing I do want to say again, I mentioned this in our last live video, and I want to mention it in this one. If you have recipes or menus that's easy and fast staples to make, that's real simple and has real simple ingredients in it, please send them to our email. We've got the email address in the description below this video. Send them to our email address, and we'll post them on our website. And that will give people an opportunity to print off that recipe and put it in their go-to recipes. What I'd like to do is get enough of these easy things that are staples, but yet have very few ingredients that's real easy to make, so that beginning preppers won't be overwhelmed with a lot of this stuff. And if you'll help me get that put together, and when I say send a recipe, I mean give me all the ingredients, give me the cook time, the instructions on how to put it together. You know, a regular recipe. You can't just say, well, here's a oatmeal cookie recipe and it uses oatmeal and raisins. You know, we need to know how many oatmeals and raisins, and need to know how much flour and baking powder and baking soda and all that stuff. So when we give it to people and they print it off, they'll be able to do a step-by-step recipe with it. So if you could do that, we'd really appreciate it, whether it's cookies or whether it's a meal for like a main meal. It doesn't matter. As long as it's a recipe that's easy to fix and has just a few ingredients in it, and it'll fill people up. A lot of people are strapped for money right now, and a lot of people have been laid off, and if we can help them find ways to work around this stuff, we most certainly want to. So, and in saying this, I had somebody, I kind of felt like that they might have thought I was saying don't buy recipe books. In a comment I made to a reply I made to a comment. That's really not what I was saying at all. I think recipe books are great. If you can find old recipe books, especially the older ones, that's got the handmade, homemade items in it, by all means get them and put them back. You can buy them at thrift stores and places like that for a dime, sometimes 50 cents, $1. Get those cookbooks like that and put them back. They're full of wonderful recipes. But I just wanted to encourage our readers here, because there's so many of you out there that's so diverse in your cooking and what you cook and how you fix it, that there has to be way more recipes than what you just find in a cookbook somewhere, and a lot easier recipes. But anyway, Pam Anderson said canned meats is such good advice. If times are tight, we won't be having meat as the main dish, and we could come into a time to see that. But more like a condiment, she said. A small can of smoked ham chunks is $1.32, added to a pot of beans with some dried onion. If you have it, it makes a fantastic ham and bean soup. There you go. Canned chicken, beef, salmon, and tuna can also be used as a pop of rich flavor to season meals made with less expensive foods like beans, rice, and pasta. Excellent advice. So if you're out here and you're new and you're wanting to try to figure out how to make your money stretch, right there's a real good idea. Canned meats, when you can find them on sale, goes a long way with pastas and rices and stuff like that. Sandy and I right now buy that chunk chicken at Walmart. In the can, it's like $2 something a can, and we can make a full meal with that, with rice. And we always have some broccoli left over when we do an Instapot meal. We take the broccoli and rice we have left over with that. You can take a chunk chicken breast and pour a can of cream of chicken soup in that. And man, that is an excellent meal. Excellent meal. And we can eat 2 or 3 days on that thing again. So we have leftovers for 3 or 4 days sometimes out of one or two meals. So that'll really stretch your money. Lokepa, I guess that's the name, Lokepa, says cream of mushroom soup with tuna or chicken over rice will fill you up also. Don't forget to get lots of soup bases to help make these types of dishes. And that's a good idea, to get the soup bases. That could go with rice and beans. Gone will be the days when protein will be the main ingredient. Now, this is the second person that said that. Pamela said that she thinks that we're coming into a time that meat, instead of being a main dish, is going to be a condiment. And this person here said that long will be gone the days when protein will be the main ingredient. And your meats have got proteins in them. If you have not started, you need to start a garden. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Get your heirloom seeds, and when you harvest your plants, save those seeds to replant next year's crop. Good luck to all. Jesus is coming soon. Well, I believe that. I think the Lord's coming back soon. I don't know exactly how soon. It may be in my lifetime, and it may not. But I think that there's a very good chance that I could see the Lord in my lifetime, in the way things are going. But we don't know. We don't know what changes will take place after the first year. We have no way of knowing that, and we can't control it. And regardless of really how we vote, we really don't have any means in controlling it anyway. But that's a story for another day. That's why I was talking about the Patreon group. There's so much stuff that I'd like to say on here that I can't, that it's just, but we're not talking about politics. We're talking about food. But those days, there's a real good chance we could see those days come and go in the next decade or so. That protein will be a side dish instead of a main dish. It'll be a condiment. So who knows? Smart Girl NYC said a few things that I didn't think of that channels like Alaskan Granny and Yosemite Prepper Navy girl suggested extra coffee filters to pre-filter water to get rid of large debris before using a water filter. And that's an excellent idea. If you have to filter your water, if you get in a situation or you have circumstances where you're cut off from the main water supply, like your city water that comes out of your tap, if something were to happen that the grid went down just where you was at, it don't have to be nationwide. It could just be right where you're at, and that would create an emergency for you. And if you had to filter your water, go out to a creek or somewhere and get it, or bring it in a bucket or something, coffee filters are excellent for that. Coffee filters are excellent pieces for that. Mr. Plumber from Dollar Tree, in case tub sinks clogged with, in cases tub sinks clogged. Okay. Cotton balls and petroleum jelly for fire starting, another excellent idea. Petroleum jelly will burn, and dip your cotton balls in it, and you've got an instant fire starter. And that would be a real good thing to put down in your, if you save your toilet paper rolls, the cardboard roll that the toilet paper rolls around, if you'll save that, you could take these cotton balls with petroleum jelly and just drop them right down in that. You could tape one end off. You could drop them right down in that and make a container to keep those in. And that'd be an excellent thing to hold those for you, and you put them up somewhere. Let's see. Luggable loo. Everybody knows what a loo is, a toilet, a portable toilet. Cat litter, drawstring bags as a backup toilet. So there you go. There's all kinds of ways of doing things if you get in a bind and need to do them. Happy Mac says Christmas stockings should be stuffed with rice and beans. With rice and beans making a complete protein, a person won't lack for protein or energy from these carbohydrate-dense foods. Also, if you're on a budget, get the canned cream soups and pasta sauces. There we go again. But listen, these cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery, cream of whatever you like, if you've got pasta and beans and rice and stuff like that, you can make a meal with that stuff. Buy a large bottle of vitamins so you won't be lacking nutritionally. I agree with that 100%. And you can also pick up the vitamin C at Dollar Tree. You can get a fairly good sized bag of vitamin C at Dollar Tree. And it's got the sealable top on it, the zipper top that seals back. Let's see. Where was I at? You can buy the pasta and sauces, buy a large bottle of vitamins so you're not lacking nutritionally. Sugar, salt, bouillon, flour, Nestle, Forticata powdered whole milk tastes better than any powdered milk I've tried, and some taste awful. Buy vitamin-rich canned foods like carrots and pumpkins, but only if you like them. That's a key thing right there. Only if you like them. There's no sense in buying them if you're not going to eat them. It's a waste of money. I have a container of powdered whole eggs, not for eating plain, but as a necessary ingredient in most baked foods that I like to made from scratch. So that's an excellent idea for those powdered eggs. My background may be a little different than most folks. I grew up in the country and government cheese eating poor, but I also grew up knowing how to grow a garden. And I did too, Happy Mac, but I ate more government cheese probably than anybody around this area right here. We always had that cheese, and man, it was good. Knowing how to grow a garden and can and forage, I preferred fishing over hunting. I supplement heating my home with homemade solar air heaters. If there's anything I can help anyone with, I'm glad to at least try. I've been picking up old windows by the side of the road so I can make a small greenhouse. There you go, guys. If you have questions, concerns, holler at Happy Mac. He'll be more than glad to help you also. This fella's been around a long time, and he's been doing this for a long time. He's one of these seasoned preppers that I was talking about on here that's full of wisdom. So thank you, Happy Mac. Cup of Cats says, I made a recipe box with only the names of meals we like and that I cook regularly. What an excellent idea. Instead of just having a smorgasbord of recipes laying out there and piled everywhere and not knowing which ones you're going to eat and which ones you're not. She said she made a box with only the names of the recipes that they use regularly. That way, when I'm staring at the pantry, wondering what to fix, I can go through those cards as a reminder. If you want, you can punch a hole in the corner of the cards and put a key ring on them, attach that to the pantry door, and practical ideals will be handy. So that's a wonderful idea. Thank you there, Couple Cats. We appreciate that. Canadian Cabin Girl, she chimes in about every video or so, and buddy, we appreciate her also. Says very good tips overall for anyone new to being prepared, especially if you live in a large city or near one. There's added concerns. Learn new skills. This is a key. Homesteading on a small to large scale, you don't need a large amount of land. Attain as much self-sufficiency as possible. And let me say this right here. Anything you can do between now and the first of the year, or between now and this coming fall, because this winter is going to be hard enough. And I have a lot of concerns about this coming year and the coming winter next year. I think we're going to see a harder time in 2021 than we have this year as far as food production and the access to certain foods. So if you can grow a garden and you can become self-sufficient to where you don't have to depend on the government for anything, or as least as you can, you're going to be much better off and way ahead of folks that don't do this thing. Homesteading on a small to large scale, you don't need a large amount of land. Attain as much self-sufficiency as possible. Even if you live in an apartment, you can still grow some vegetables in containers. It's a bonus if you have a balcony or small yard portion. Everyone should have a non-complex, basic recipe book that uses ordinary ingredients. Here again is another seasoned. This is a way of life for her. This is not a newfound thing or something that she's just learned in the last year or two. The Canadian Cabin Girl was raised doing this. Her parents raised her like this, and her family's like this, and they are just self-sufficient people. And I think that's wonderful. I wish we were all like that. If we were all like that, we wouldn't be so dependent on people that don't care a whole lot about us. And I think you know who I'm talking about. Making yeast bread is not difficult, even easier if you want to use a bread machine. Baking powdered biscuits or plain muffins are a great addition and cheap filler to any meal, and it is. And making biscuits is so easy. It's once you do that and learn to do stuff like that handmade, you'll wonder why you never did it. Same with pancakes. Very easy and cheap to make from scratch. All you need is self-rising flour to make pancakes and an egg. A little bit of water if you don't have milk. If you've got milk, it's a plus. And if you make extras, you can use it as a sandwich wrap, and they're very good. So it can double also as a sandwich wrap. If you have a house, grow as much of your own vegetables as you can. Plant shrubs, trees that bear fruit. Get a barrel or large buckets to collect rain. Learn to can your garden's bounty. And wild fruits, jams, jellies are easy to make. Always keep the staples in your home and how to turn them into great foods. Have manual tools and not just electric ones. We've talked about that. You need manual tools. You need stuff to work with that doesn't require electricity. Start a compost pile. Nothing better for your garden. I've heard several people talk about compost piles and using them in their gardens for nutrients to help boost their garden all spring and into the summer. And buddy, right here is instructions on how to make a very simple one. Take 3 wood pallets, mostly free at various stores. Just ask the manager. Nail or screw them together to make a 3-sided box. Very simple, a 3-sided box. Leaving the front open for easy access. Take a few pieces of scrap wood or wood strapping and nail or screw on top of the pallet so that both sides are secured to the back, and that will add stability. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you have 2 sides like this and a piece in the back, you need to screw a board across the top to keep these 2 from doing like this. Okay, that gives it stability. Or you can put them on a 45-degree angle if you needed to. But that's a great thing to do. Look for used gardening and home repair books. Always save your glass jars with the lids. They can store most anything from sugar to salt. Taking off the label is easy with a mixture of cooking oil and baking soda to a consistency of mustard. These people have done this stuff for years. Spread it on the entire label and leave it for an hour, and it comes off rather easily with soap and warm water. Doing a few at once is a good idea. About 3 tablespoons of oil to 1 teaspoon of baking soda. There's so much to cover, one hardly knows where to begin. Do what your budget permits. A generator with extra fuel is excellent to have. Can you afford it? I'll look through my recipes and find some good basic ones to email you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you folks have easy recipes, don't forget to email them to us. We're wanting to put together stuff here on our website to share with the community. And the website and the email address is located in the description below. You'll have to click that See More link, and it'll open up the rest of the description out there so you can read it. Appalachian American Homestead said that what we like to do is, like on Monday, cook a boneless ham for supper. Then each evening we play off it, like ham and eggs and biscuits. Then ham and beans, ham and cheese soup. Just think simple items. Ham or Spam slices with brown sugar and mustard and butter on each piece. Place it in the oven. Let it melt. Yum, it's good. And I guarantee it is. Just very simple things like that you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. You don't have to spend a lot of money on. One ham will do this family for a week, just mixing it with other things to eat with. And it will do you for a week. And if you're a single person, it might do you for 2 weeks. Who knows? This stuff will last in the refrigerator. Just set it up in a bowl or wrap it real good in aluminum foil or something where it doesn't get air to it a lot. And this food will last a long time in refrigerators. Diane says, no idea if this will help anyone, but it helps us every winter. And I'll guarantee if it helps you, Diane, it'll help somebody else. Our house isn't insulated and we don't have money to do it. And we have the old single pane of glass windows too. So every winter I use double-sided tape and tape bubble wrap to the inside of all the windows. The air bubbles are good insulation, and this lets the light in too. Another great thing about the bubble wrap is it creates a kind of frosted window effect, kind of like what you might use for a bathroom window. You can see shadows, but no details. And that's always good, that you can't see details. We took a solar energy class, and this was one of the suggestions for helping hold in the heat. So that's an excellent thing to know, that this will hold in heat. Bubble wrap can be pricey, so I hate to admit it, but I usually get mine by checking the dumpsters behind places like Hobby Lobby and Michael's and gifty type places that carry lots of breakables. Well, I wouldn't hate to admit that at all. Buddy, I've got boxes and everything else from around these dumpsters and places like that. If they're going to throw it away and you can use it, and they don't care if you're getting it, get it. There's no shame in that. I appreciate your videos full of common sense and not political. Calm voice of reason from you. Well, I thank you for that, Diane. I appreciate it very much. I try not to be political on this channel because it just doesn't benefit anything. It just doesn't. When you start talking politics on a channel like this, all you get is a bunch of fussing and fuming and arguing and bickering, and no two people are going to see everything alike. But thank you very much. Now I don't know. This is our friend from the Virgin Islands, and I don't really know how to pronounce this name, so I'm just going to spell it, and everybody can kind of look it up as they go. Pluscallamemechose. Okay, and I know if I try to pronounce that, it's not going to be good, so I'm just not going to try it. But anyway, they say for the newbie who doesn't cook at home, a list of ingredients and simple directions might make it easier to prep for favorite foods. Think about this just a second on all this stuff we've been reading here, if you're new to the channel. There has been probably 4 people here already that said that one of the things you need to do is get a list of ingredients for simple recipes. Sit down and figure out the simplest recipes you can make that cost the least amount of money, that take the least amount of ingredients, and make you a list of them with those ingredients. So when you get ready to go to the store, you can look in your pantry and see what you have and what you don't have, and you'll know what to pick up, and you won't overspend on things you don't need. It's very easy to buy stuff you don't need if you don't have a list of what you're going after. If you don't remember it, then you just start, trying to guess at what you need and buying this and buying that, and you might need and you might not. So having a list of these things, knowing what you need in your pantry and what you need to make these meals with is an excellent idea. And just a while ago, the one lady said that she makes a list of them on cards and punches a hole in them, puts them on a key ring, and hangs them in her pantry. So she's got them right there at hand anytime she needs them. Wonderful ideals here. These people have been doing this for a long time, and I tell you, I'm learning. I'm like a kid with a new toy. You guys are just tickling me to death. She said, simple directions that might make it easier to prep for favorite foods, such as bread, flour, yeast, sugar, and warm to the touch water or whole milk. Let rise in a large bowl in warm area, beat down after 20 minutes, split in 2 sections, knead each into a ball and place on a baking sheet. Gently spread butter over tops. Place top rack in the oven in the center, middle position, preheat 375. Now this is in our comments. This is telling you how to make bread, and it's in our comment section. See what kind of comments we get? That's why it's important for you to go back over our comments and read them and interact with these people. They can help you. But I'm not going to go through that whole thing because we're going to do a recipe on bread, and we may take this one right here and do it and put it on our website for you. Diane Monaco, I hope I pronounced that right, said, we stocked up on lots and lots of batteries from Costco, have lots of flameless candles plus regular jar candles. We have that pull-up light too. The one I showed in that video that you pull up like that and the light shines out around it. They're excellent lights. She said 6 of them. We're in South Florida and it's very residential. Don't expect any violence. This is a gun state, and my son has many, many guns of all types. Ammo is very sparse. People are protecting their families, and rightly so. May the good Lord protect his people. Blessings, and stay safe. And, I would say the same thing. We want you to stay safe. We want you to protect yourself and protect your family. I've said it different of times on here. Especially, I want to say this, especially to you men, if you're listening. You need to be the head of the house, and you need to take charge of providing for your family at this time. Now, you may say, well, I'm out of work and my wife's working, so I can't. Yes, you can. You can still do whatever is necessary to help make decisions, make wise decisions. You can still do whatever is necessary to make preparations for your home and your family to keep them safe. Be a man. Men need to be men. Now, I don't know how else to say that, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by saying that, but men need to be men, okay? We've got a generation of men that don't know how to be men, but now you need to. It's coming on time right now that you need to put on your pants and be a man. That's one of my pet peeves, I guess. Anyway, I want to say thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you that comes to this channel. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed to our channel. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I would like to encourage you to do that again. If you haven't liked this video yet, I would like to encourage you to do that again. If you get the opportunity and you would like to do that, you could share us with your social media, and we'd appreciate it. And please, by all means, leave your comments below. And if you have recipes that you would like to type out and send to us so that we can copy them and put them on our website for others to share with, we would love for you to do that. Remember, you need to go in the description below, click see more. It'll drop down and you'll be able to see our email address right there. Send us those recipes to the email. If you have photos of your finished recipes, that would be even better. If not, that's okay. We don't have to have them, but it's always a plus if we do. And again, I want to say thank you all. God bless each and every one of you. We pray for you and pray that that each of you know the Lord Jesus Christ. If you don't, I pray for you that you find him, because, man, there's just nobody like Jesus. Just his name lights up my life, makes my heart leap and just race. What a wonderful Father we have. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day, and we'll catch you in the next video.